Hey guys, today I'm going to go through solving one of the common problems that I've run into with hydroponics and aquaponics is when you're trying to grow larger plants or trees, having a system that has a low center of gravity kind of eliminates a tilt factor, as well as being able to be a little bit more mobile. So what I've done here is I've built a hydroponic or aquaponics bucket system using a combination between 3 gallons and 5 gallon buckets with an ebb and flow setup. Um, so I'm going to show you how we build it all together. And the nice thing about this is you can just put a little inline pump and have a single bucket system, or you can run all of these together and have a whole daisy chain, as I'm working on over here, where I'll have 10 or 50 of these all chained together with one pump circulating all of them. They'll each operate individually and can be dialed in for their own individual needs. First thing we're going to do is drill a hole. It's on a 3/4 inch bit, 1 inch up. I've marked a spot here on your 5 gallon bucket. This is going to be for your drain, where you'll hook up your pump or daisy chain the buckets together. Now I'm using a 1/2 inch bulkhead, just found local Lowe's. Don't let it confuse you. A lot of times these things can be found in the electrical center and not in the plumbing center. So this particular one, you want to make sure the O-ring goes on the inside. This is going to create your watertight seal. Now this drill that with the 3/4 inch hole is the exact side of the thread, so you actually are going to thread the bulkhead fitting into the bucket. Give it a little bit of elbow grease and it will go, but it will create a much tighter seal this route. Make sure you tighten down your lock washer on the outside. And the next part I'm adding is just a slip type elbow. This way I can have 1/2 inch tubing on the outside here. Your build may be a little bit different. 1/2 inch PVC will thread right on the outside. Always make sure you tape your threads and glue your slip joints. So for this next part, I'm going to drill out the bottom of your 3.5 gallon bucket. The 3.5 gallons fit perfectly inside the 5 gallons, both ordered from homedepot.com. It's very important, if you're using the same material parts list that I've shown you in this video, that you measure this properly. I'm 3/4 inch to the edge of my hole. From where this hole is going to be. And the reason this is important when I drill this out is if you look at the finished product, that bell siphon, you want all the way up against the edge of the bucket. That way you're maximizing your space on the inside and it's out of the way over here. So if you don't get it right to the edge, that siphon's going to be wobbly and out somewhere here in the middle, where once I fill this one with material, it will keep it and hold it perfectly in place over here on the side. Now for the main drain pipe, I use 3/4 inch. You want the thin wall. The thinner the wall, the less the edge that your water has to go over to start your siphon process. It's going to be 9.5 inches in length. Now I'm using a 3/4 inch bulkhead, again found in the electrical conduit system at your local Lowe's, Home Depot. I think this particular one came from Lowe's. Now when I built the original on this and I was trying to get everything timing right, just sliding the pipe over the top with the thread wasn't tight enough. So I actually went out and got this 1/8 inch thick walled O-ring. It's just slightly bigger than the standpipe here, and it just adds that additional layer of seal when you put it on the bulkhead to keep the water from trickling down, helps you start and stop your siphons faster. So the O-ring's a pretty tight fit inside this bulkhead, so all I do is just take a flathead screwdriver and I'm pushing it down beneath the threads. It'll make that tight seal, and then when I tighten the nut down over the top, everything's one solid piece. Now the standpipe is attached to your bulkhead. Go ahead and insert it through the hole. And again, just like we did with the previous one, just take your nut and tighten it right on down. Got a 3/4 inch elbow here, slip and thread on one side. I go ahead and put these on most of my bell siphons. Just that little bit of an elbow there really helps start your siphon process when you're trying to get that smooth start and the smooth finish. So go ahead, add it on there, can't hurt anything, just really helps with the starting of the siphon process itself. Now this is 1.25 inch pipe. Again, it's the thin wall, trying to make sure I have the right amount of space between the standpipe and the bell itself. Good for nice smooth starting and stopping of your siphon. I'm going to cut this to 8 1/8 inches. Now for my bell siphon, I use 1/4 inch holes. I'm going to come about 1/4 inch up from the bottom of the pipe, and there's no exact number here. Just drill them kind of sporadically all the way around the bottom. Here's my drilled out bell siphon bottom. Again, no exact science. It's the one piece of this that doesn't have to be exact. Just make sure you have plenty of them to start and stop your flow. And then just an 1.25 inch cap. I like the rounded caps for starting and stopping. And go ahead and you can glue that right in place. Now this piece isn't actually a necessary step, up to you depending on what your build is. I always like to build a garden place. Just helps keep whatever my medium is away from my bell. And the height on this, I put it at 9.5 inches. It'll fit just right over the bell so that you can still grab the top of the bell siphon, pull it off. 9.5 inches length, and just make sporadic cuts throughout. Again, there wasn't exact science to this, just enough to get plenty of water flow and help keep your media at bay and away from the bell. Now that my standpipe's a little crooked here, once I have my media in place, I just want to get on video. I've filled up to the top of my standpipe. Siphon hasn't started yet. Just want to show you that you know, the bell and the siphon do work properly. I'm just got a kinked hose. I'm just going to emulate a very slow trickle here, and then we'll time lapse it. But you'll be able to see as the siphon starts, and you know, to emulate what a 1/4 inch tube of water would be pouring into this on the final version. So there you have it. It's my aquaponics or hydroponics bucket build. These work really great for banana trees, papaya, even some of the larger vegetables. I'm able to move them around as I want to, just depends on the amount of hose that I want to use. Another neat little trick are these self-pruning buckets. They're soft, you can put it inside and stretch it out and then fill it inside your media. What these do is they help trim the roots, so you don't have to worry about them root locking inside the bucket in such a small space like this. Just one last piece. Later I'll do an update video that shows you some of my own trees and my own daisy chain once they're all set up, but this was just a build so you guys can duplicate them at home.